Back to the Spurs DANalyst. This is my second upload. Got quite a bit to go through today. Probably won't be as long as my first video. Hopefully I'll get it all wrapped up in about half an hour. So today I'm going to look at this Tottenham QPR match, my thoughts on that. I'm going to look at the players who've gone on tour, transfer links, players going out or have gone out, players we've linked to. Also I'm going to talk about the latest news on the player, the South Korean player today we've been linked to, Ming Hyuk Yang. No idea if I've pronounced that right, but yeah, I'm going to talk a little bit about him, and also I'm going to have a look at I'm going to talk a bit about James Maddison and my thoughts on him last season. We're going to compare him to other attacking players in the Premier League, look at some stats, yeah, and just kind of see where that goes. So let's start. So QPR versus Spurs. First half lineup was, I think, very similar to the first pre-season friendly we had. Same defence. Again, not having any kind of official centre backs. Don't know. I mean, I know some of them are not coming back because they were playing in the Euros and the Copa America. We have Phillips, young player. Dorrington's recovering for injury, but we're really short in the centre backs doing this. And I mean, Skip and Gray have come in and done okay, but it's not really what you want to be seeing in pre-season. You want to see some centre backs, or okay, maybe not the first ones if they're away for the international stuff, but you know, a bit of backup. But we don't look like we have got a lot of backup really, if you think about it. Same midfield again, Saar, Basuma, Bergvall. Actually, that was a change. Bergvall started this game. Last match he came on second half. Johnson, Son and Werner, that was another change as well. So I'm just saying it was a different lineup. It was the same lineup. Actually, it's a few changes, but fairly similar, I guess. So my thoughts on the first half. Steve Cook was like stopping everything. I think he used to play for Bournemouth. Very experienced centre-back. Couldn't get past him. It took quite some time for us to get a goal in that game. And yeah, we had lots of the ball. We did have quite a few clear-cut chances. But it was that same move again. On the left or on the right. Quick play, crossing the box, and hopefully someone gets on the end of it. And fair play to QPR, they defended well. Keeper made a couple of good saves. Defenders were blocking, but we were pretty dominant in that first half. But saying that, QPR did have a few chances and could have scored. And then there was that player took that shot from outside the box, hit the bar. Very good chance. Had a goal disallowed as well, just offside. But yeah, it was okay. Nothing spectacular. Basuma scored, and again we saw Kulusevski link up a goal. He did it the other day in the other game against Hearts, where he would kind of flick it on to someone else coming into the box. And yeah, it was a good goal from Basuma. Good to see him getting forward that much. And he's supposed to be our kind of number 6 in the team, more the defensive midfielder. But yeah, good goal, well taken. Second half comes on. We change. Let me just get the team for that. Spence comes on. Royale, Phillips, Abbott. I don't think he was playing the other game. Plays a left back. Kulusevski. He came on first half actually. For Bergvall got a knock. Devine, Maddison came on this half. Moore, Lancashire and Solomon. And I think, did Solomon start the first game against Hearts? I can't remember. Anyway, he came on. I thought second half QPR bullied us. I think they bullied us in the midfield. Yeah, they weren't giving us any time on the ball. I thought the younger players found this game a lot harder. The level, Championship, QPR were competitive, did a lot of defending, but they did go forward and they did create some chances and could have scored. Good couple of saves from Gunner. Lancashire didn't have too long. He had a good chance, just took it a little too far, and the ball just didn't make it in the net. He came off. Felice came on. Didn't do too much in that second half. I thought that midfield, I expected Maddison to do more. There's some nice touches from Devine, and again Moore got his another goal contribution, got a good assist when we got that late goal. Yeah, I mean, I didn't think the performance was as good as against Hearts. I think QPR were quite physical, and yeah, and they could have scored. And so if I kind of give a bit of an overview of the match, I thought, yeah, a lot of the ball first half, a lot of chances, but just not clinical enough, and relying on that same move. The same move that we do when it just goes out to the right, crosses the ball into the box. Son had a good chance in the first half. The keeper made a good save. Werner he was put through. He was on the right though for some reason on that chance. Not good enough finishing. So yeah, a lot of chances, but again not clinical enough. And we're playing QPR here. You know, we should be taking chances, should be scoring a few goals like we did against Hearts. So it wasn't the best, but again, it's second pre-season friendly. Good fitness for the guys. And I just have this thought about what they're going to do with the young strikers that we have. So we've got Lancashire, we've got Scarlett, we've got Valise. Wonder which one is going to get more involvement in the season. They can't all play. Obviously, it depends on what we do in the transfer market. How is Ange going to decide who's going to get in the squad for the match days next season? Is it going to be Lancashire, Scarlett, Valise? Scarlett scored a goal late on. Again, he didn't start. He came on late on in the second half. Didn't get a lot of time. Took his goal well. Good ball from Moore. And yeah, it's just a bit not too sure really about those three strikers. Guys, which one would you have in the squad next season? Would you loan them out? Would you keep one? Which one do you fancy? Lancashire, Scarlett or Valise? For me, Scarlett's been around quite a long time and he hasn't broken through into the first team. He's had a few minutes here and there. I don't know with Scarlett if he's going to make it at Spurs. Maybe he'll get another loan move. Lancashire, I think what Ange is going to do, because of these players have gone over to Asia for the tour, I think he's going to have another good look at them and make his decision when the season starts, which one's going to get involved in the squad. I think there was something out today on Twitter that the club really like Lancashire. Good attitude in training, wants to learn, how can he improve. He did well in the under-23s last year, so I would kind of favour him to have a go, give him a go, see how he gets on. Lots of games next season. So now off they go on the tour. Let's move on to the tour now. Let's have a look at the squad who went. Anybody surprise? Radu is going, but not now. I think he's going to join the group for career only. Again, none of the Van der Ven, Romero, they're not going to be coming back into the squad until Spurs get back to the UK. And I think they're only going to make the Bayern Munich game, the final pre-season friendly. Again, no centre-backs. We have Phillips, and I mean Royale can play centre-back. But yeah, we're very light in that area. Very, very light. Maybe they are looking at the centre-backs for this transfer window, because I think we're not that strong in there. So yeah, again, what I find a bit confusing when Ange picks these teams for these pre-season games is why wouldn't he start with centre backs in the first half or play him for most of the game? Phillips, give him game time. Probably really keen to impress. maybe the club are thinking they're going to loan him out again for another season. But yeah, a bit strange. I thought you'd want to see him, give him more game time because he's the only really centre back we have. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We've got a game on Saturday and see what lineup he does. Is he going to start? Are we going to start to see more of the kind of first team starting? Maybe with some youngsters added. So yeah, to really start getting some combination play. And I hope with this tour that we're going to see a little bit more variety in the attacking play as well, because we're just still in that same move. And then we're going to hit the same problem as we will next season, is playing teams who have the low block. Maddison needs to do more. Kulusevski, we're seeing more central in the last couple of games. How do I think he's done? I mean, he's linked up well with the goals. I think he falls over a bit too much. Yeah, one to watch there. Maybe the club are thinking Kulusevski and Maddison are going to kind of be in that same position. Maybe they're not looking at bringing in another attacking midfielder. As long as I don't see Kulusevski on the right again. And I'll move on to transfers a bit later on. So yeah, any more thoughts on the tour to Asia? No, not at the moment. I'm hoping that we do get some signings in and that they can kind of get involved. I don't know if they would really come like if we're halfway through the tour. Really should to get used to the team and the systems. We'll have to wait and see on that one. So let's have a little look at the transfer links. So what I've picked up on Twitter. So at the beginning of the week, 3 transfers are coming in. Who those transfers are, we don't know. Well, we maybe know one now, the 18-year-old from South Korea. 2 more coming in. Don't know who yet. We've been linked a lot to Jacob Ramsey, selling him with Lo Celso. Celso going to Villa. We're getting Jacob Ramsey. Jacob Ramsey, is he better than what we've got? Not sure. I mean, when I've seen him play, looks quite good. I think he's been injured a lot quite last season. He's homegrown, which meets the quota, so that's good. Doesn't really excite me, got to be honest. Good signing, but I mean, it just sounds like we're doing deals, trying to get cheap deals in. I'm not sure about Jacob Ramsey. Where's he going to play? Is he going to play attacking midfield? I'm not sure if that's going to happen. It's not close anyway. It's very early stages. There's not really anything like it's really going to happen. It's just early days. So we'll have to see about that one. Links with Charlison, possible selling to Saudi Arabia club. It quietened down the links to Saudi Arabia. Now they've come back up. So maybe for Charlison, maybe going. But if he does, if we do sell him, Spurs are asking for I think 60 million. That's quite a lot. Maybe that should set 50 or 40 just to let him go. But we need to bring in then 2 strikers, because if he goes, we need 2. So we're going to be short. So they need to get on with that, because we need to know what we're doing. Time's running out. We'll need 2 strikers to come into the team. There was a link yesterday, Royale. Let me just bring that up. A couple of Twitter links. Let me show you. Find it. Another club has come in for him. I think is it a Turkish club? I'm not too sure. Possibly a Turkish club. And they put an offer in, and now AC Milan have put another offer in. Getting closer. And the link there, the source there is Damasio, who's quite a reliable link. Royal's gone on the tour. They left Gil and who's the other guy? They left Gil and who was that? Oh, Regulon behind to look for other clubs. So maybe they're not actively looking to sell Royal, but if the right price comes in, they will sell. And from what I hear, Royal is quite keen to play in Italy, play for AC Milan. So hopefully that will get done soon. And then we will need to look at maybe another right back. And then there's the Spence thing. There's a few bits and bobs coming out about Spence. He was pressing in training, doing well. Hopefully we'll see a bit more in the pre-season tour in Asia. If we'll get a few more games, maybe they'll keep him. Maybe they change their mind. Maybe we'll see him starting next season as a backup right back to Pedro Porro. We'll challenge him for his position. I'll be interesting to see. And if that goes, so if Royal goes, then we still do have two right backs, which is okay. Yeah, interesting one. See where that one goes. And then we've sold Holberg. My thoughts on Holberg, been at the club since 2020. I remember, I think Jose Mourinho brought him in. Solid player, reliable player, never injured. Had some really good games for Spurs over the years. Had quite a good relationship with Bentancur. I think that was under Conte. They were really, really good. But this season, the season last, Ange didn't fancy him, didn't start him. He always came on as a sub to try and see out games, and he did really well, I thought. Holberg, in his use of experience, breaking up play, spreading the passes, I think he got a couple of goals. Not 100% sure on that if he did, but he was good when he came on, and his experience helped us in certain games. But to start, when we ever started him, he didn't look as good. I don't think he can play the ball out as quick. He's not quick as getting back and defending when we're playing the high line. So yeah, I like him as a squad player, and to keep him for a squad player. But we can do better, and I think it's fair on him that he wants to play first team football, and he's got his move now to Marseille on loan with an option to buy him, but it's not an option. They have to buy him after the first season. So yeah, good luck to Holberg. I did like him as a Spurs player. Never was top quality, but he gave it his all. He really never let you down in that sense. He was never injured, as I said. So, but yeah, good luck to him. I hope he does well at Marseille. But in the kind of on the negative side, that we are losing an experienced player, and don't have many of them. We don't have loads of experienced players, and he was the one. He was quite experienced, so we need to think about that. Because he's gone now, are we now looking at to bring someone else in to cover, or as I said in my previous video, bringing in a number 6, a defensive midfielder, somebody who can break up the play, control the ball, dictate from deep, really get us playing. He was good receiving the ball from the centre backs, playing it out, playing it forward to the attacking players, inverted fullbacks to the wingers. Yeah, I really do hope that we are looking at that position, because again, as I said in the previous video, that position does worry me a bit, with Basuma being there, Bentancur probably looking the likely to start, and then possibly Gray as well. Ange may think that those 3 players can do the job for the team. I would much prefer someone else to come in. You see the links on Ugarte to Man United, a player I would like. Again, Zubamendi. I mean, I heard someone say maybe a little bit. The league might be a bit too physical for him, but Rodri did all right, didn't he? After a while, it took him a little time to settle in, but he's crazy now, Rodri. So maybe, yeah, why not? We do need somebody there, I think. That kind of conversation could change because you could look at it like this: if we do bring in some clinical striker, good one-on-one wingers, improve our kind of goal output, be more clinical in front of goal, score goals, That will obviously ease the pressure on the team. A better chance to win. Strengthen the attack. Maybe in the midfield we can get away with it. Maybe Ange's thinking like that. Improved attacking play. Get some better players in. I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but that's the hope. Can Basuma do it? Basuma he's got a big season ahead. He started off well last year, but kind of faded. Never got back to his form he did in the first 10 games. Big season for him. The pressure's on. I'll be watching to see how he gets on. Or will it be Bentancur? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see there. So again, just wrapping that bit up. Holberg is gone. We need to bring someone in, I think, and I hope we really do. Someone who's going to come in and improve our team, improve the starting 11, slot straight in there, and someone who's really going to get us playing. Someone's good on the ball. Yeah, confident. So yeah, I have a transfer link. So it's the news today. We've been, well, it sounds like it's almost there now. I think they need to just do a medical. The young South Korea player, I'll just call him Ming. It's a little bit easier to pronounce. So let's have a look on him today. What's the information out on him? So they say, so again, it's a closing on another 18-year-old. Hey, going down that route. Spurs Project Youth, which I talked a bit about in my first video. Another 18-year-old. But he's not even going to be, once it's gone through, he's not even going to be coming in. He's not coming in until January. So, again, is he counting as a sign-in? In some way, he is for the future, but it's a future one, isn't it? I saw the YouTube video of him today. Yeah, it looks good. But again, you can't really tell until he gets over, starts playing for us. Looking at the reaction on Twitter, a lot of people are happy about him, excited. The future son, people are saying, very talented. He's only, I think, the stats there that he's had 7 goals, 3 assists in 24 games so far after turning 18 in April. So, yeah, it's not bad for an 18-year-old. But again, we're looking at the league, the level of the league there. It's nowhere near as good as the Premier League. But we have seen some players from Asia come over to Premier League. What do you think about Matoma? Celtic, the bloke hand signed, who's up front for him when he was managing Celtic. I forgot his name off the top of my head. But you can get some gems from Asia, and maybe Ange is thinking, well, why not? I don't know how much the fee is, but look, it's another player for the future. Maybe we'll see him when he comes in January. But we'll be in the kind of hustle and bustle of the season then. So bit of quite risky throwing him straight in. We'll have to see about that one. Maybe he'll go into the youth team, the under 23s, play there rather than starting straight into the first team squad. So yeah, again, this is bringing me to this why I think that Ange has resigned to relying on youth. There was something on Twitter the other day. Let me read it out to you. Let's have a look. Yeah, it was posted by the Spurs Watch. Ange Postecoglou wants to buy top young talent to be able to develop. It's a very short statement. Was there anything before or after that? It's hard to know. If you take it, you could take it both ways. You can just say that, yeah, that's something he likes to do, or you can think about it a bit more that, this is what he's resigned this transfer window. He's not getting his targets in. We haven't signed anybody of note. And he's maybe looking at the youth, looking at the younger players pre-seasons, thinking who can come in and play a part next season. Yeah, I mean it was funny that came out after what I talked about last week. Um, just had that feeling after he made that statement. I think it was after the Hearts game about the young players. So yeah, I mean it's a bit underwhelming again. Um, Nothing concrete coming in with anybody, any top player. Haven't heard anything about Eze for a while. I mean, when I see Twitter, it sounds more hope than anything that Eze's going to come. Nothing on Tony. And if he has got this thing about bringing in young players, Tony's not young. Um, Look, I don't know really what else to say on this because there's still some time. That's the thing that came out the other day with that we're looking at 3 players coming in and we're waiting for the okay from the clubs we're buying from before it can get moved on. Who are those 3 players? Well, we just have to wait and really hope that those three, is he talking about the South Korea 18-year-old, or was he talking about other, or not he or the club, talking about other players? We just don't know at the moment. We'll have to wait and see there. But for me, it's just very underwhelming. And there is a lot of negativity about Spurs' transfer window so far. What are we doing here? Come on, wake up. Other clubs are doing it. I like some of the business Man United are doing. We've got a couple of players over the line. Zerki is a striker. I like him. We've got the young centre back. To be honest, I don't know much about him, but they paid a lot of money, so he must be highly rated. And then they're also linked to Ugarte and not the centre back, but the other two. Yeah, they're good. And what we've done so far is Werner, Gray, which, as I said in my last video, I do like. We just don't know how that one's going to go next season. Don't know how much game time he's going to get, what impact he's going to make. Bergvall, we've got as well. Yeah, I'm excited about them too, but as I said, you can't expect them to come in and then suddenly we're going to up our level in our performance. It's asking too much for those two. And Werner is Werner again on the weekend against QPR. Just wasteful, so wasteful. Pace, but no end product. And that forward line is a big worry. So yeah, just see what happens over the next couple of weeks. Thinking when the season starts now, not too far away. We need to get these players in, get them into the team, start getting used to the team. Otherwise, it's going to be a season of, what can I say? It's going to be unpredictable. Are we going to improve? Yes, we should naturally improve. Ange's second season, players getting used to the system. Players who are new to the team last year gaining a year experience in the league. They should be better. They should be on it. Less mistakes. But if we don't bring these top players in, I just can't see a massive improvement. And what you'll see is that we'll start off really pretty at the beginning of the season. We'll be getting wins. We'll be playing some good football. And then what will happen is, as the games come thick and fast, the injuries will come, the suspensions will come, we'll lose some players, games are coming, European games, the cup games, and then I think we may see the same pattern as last season, and we may fall away again, because you have to have quality. It's essential we have a clinical striker come into that team. It's essential, and a really top winger. And cover for the fullbacks, especially left back. I heard that we were linked to a left back the other day. Not heard of him myself. People said that he's got good stats from last season, good performances, a bit similar to Udogie, how he plays. Don't know how much truth in that is there in the link, but we definitely need cover on left back. there's, one of the main positions I also think we need is that midfield general, that somebody who's going to be a game changer for us moving into next season. So, yeah, we don't know. But let's see how pre-season goes. Let's try to be positive. we have to. We have to be positive and supporting Spurs. What is it? What do you say? My heart, my hope, just really hopes that we're going to have a good season next year. But my head is saying, Dan, don't get too excited. Think until we know what our results are at the end of the transfer window. Then I will start to make a bit more of a stronger judgment on the outcomes for the new season and what we can achieve, what I think we'll achieve, what's likelihood. So it's still a little bit all up in the air. But I do really hope that things click next season and comes up with some new styles of play. He's a lot more tactically flexible, and some of the players need to set up. And I'm going to talk about Maddison soon. We're nearly there now with the Maddison chat. But players like Basuma, Bentancur, who else I want improvement from? Johnson. He had a lot of chances last season. He did get not bad stats, but as we saw, he missed a load of chances. He needs to be better. I'm just trying to think now. Sarr, he's got to step up this season. He's got to do another level. Kind of last season started well, but kind of fell off like a lot of the first team players last season. Form fell off, not consistent with his play. But again, Sarr, fingers crossed that he can improve our team next season. And then you throw in the likes of Gray, Bergvall, and let's just hope that they really take off and really improve our team. But again, we don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But we have to be positive. We've got to going into the new season. Although a lot of what I've said in this video is my concerns about the transfers and the disappointment so far. The links, underwhelming links. Ramsey, this 18-year-old South Korean kid, not really getting me excited for the new season. Look, we'll see. Let's see how we get on. Let's see watch some of those next pre-season games and see where that takes us. So, the final film I'm going to talk about today is Maddison, and as I just mentioned, he's a player who really needs to step up next year, and I'm expecting much more from him. So, I've just been kind of doing a little bit of kind of research, not research, but kind of looking at the data of Maddison over the last couple of seasons. Compared him against a couple of other attacking midfielders in the Premier League, and then I'm going to look at players in the Premier League last season with a lot of goal involvements, and just kind of have a little bit of kind of discussion around, and please comment on any of this stuff. It's I find it quite interesting, like looking at Maddison, looking at him, comparing him against other players in the league. His kind of, what do you call it, output or impact in games, and what we need from him. So as we all know, Maddison started on fire for us in the first 10 games. He was great, linking up with Son so well. He was scoring, he was assisting. He was looking like, this is great. Then he got the horrible injury, which took him out for quite some time. He missed quite a few games, and I do have the data with me. Let me just get the data up so I'm ready. So, when he came back from injury, he didn't look like the same player. Also, the team was very inconsistent with their performances, up and down, wins, losses, draws, just not really getting any rhythm. And Maddison looked very, very frustrated. He did at times look really, really frustrated. And why is that? What was that all about? What happened to that form that he started off at the beginning of the season? I think it was, again, as I just said, the team wasn't playing well, and he was struggling to kind of really pick them up and push them. And knowing James Maddison and his experience of being in the Premier League, playing for Leicester, he's played in some big games, scored some big goals. I thought he would be our talisman alongside Son, and he went missing. We've got to be honest, he did go missing, and maybe it's not just because we dropped off, but maybe it's to do with our system. A lot of what we saw in games last year was the inverted fullbacks getting into his areas of the ball, his areas of the pitch, getting in his way, maybe cutting into midfield. Where did he go? Where does he go from there? You know, maybe the system wasn't suiting James Maddison. Whereas at the beginning of the season, it looked like he did. He was like everywhere. He was dropping deep, picking up the ball, spreading passes, getting on the end of things. He was putting good crosses into the box, setting up goals for Son. Yeah, it was a bit of a strange one. Why his form fell off so much, but it's probably a combination of things. As I said, coming back from injury, struggling, team playing inconsistently, and maybe the system not really suiting him. And we just didn't see enough from him. And that's kind of why his season I rated was okay. I thought it'd be better. So let's just kind of look at his stats. So last season he got 4 goals, he got 9 assists, he created 11 big chances for the team. He played 28 games and he missed 10 games due to injury. Now, comparing into the season before at Leicester, he scored 10 goals, 9 assists, big chances created 12, played 30 games, so only a couple more, injured 8 games, he missed 8 games, playing in a Leicester team that got relegated, and now he's playing for Spurs, who had a better season than Leicester did. You know, there's better players, a new system. We were performing more, closer to the top of the Premier League than the bottom. Them stats, they're quite interesting. Very, very similar. Big chances created, assists are the same. He did score more goals for Leicester. Yeah, maybe playing for Leicester, he was the main man there. He played for them for a few years. The system, maybe Leicester played suited to how he played. So yeah, maybe why his performance in that season was slightly better, not miles better, but slightly better. And then I've looked at other players similar position as him. I looked at Martin Odegaard, looking at his data for last season and the season before. He's kind of their playmaker. He's their creative midfielder for Arsenal. So let's look at his stats. 8 goals, 10 assists, big chances created 17, games played 35, missed 3. So he played most games last season for Arsenal in a very settled Arsenal team, a team which knew what they were doing, very organised team, good defence, good system in the midfield. Even when they made a couple of changes later on in the season in the midfield, moving Rice to a different position from the defensive number 6 to the number 8, and bringing in Jorginho. He was good. So let's go to his stats: 8 goals, 10 assists, 17 big chances created, 35 games played, 3 missed. The goals and assists are very similar to Maddison. He's created more big chances, played more games. But you get the feel from rival fans when they're kind of comparing Maddison and Odegaard that Martin Odegaard was so much better than Maddison last year. made much more of an impact in games. But Arsenal did play really well last season, and they weren't far away from winning the league. Their team's more set. It's been together a bit longer, or a lot longer than Ange's team. So that would go in Odegaard's favour. And generally, yeah, he got quite highly rated, Odegaard, last season. One of the key cogs in the Arsenal team. Good player. Question marks over performing in big games. He's still, I think, got a lot to prove in that. But stats, not bad. So the other player I was going to compare Maddison to was Bruno Fernandes. So let's have a little look at his season. He was playing in a very inconsistent Manchester United team. Their results last year were crazy, even though they done fantastically winning the FA Cup, saving their season. So Bruno Fernandes in the Premier League last season, he scored. Let's have a look now. Is that right? 15 goals, 7 assists. I need to double check that. Hold on a second. Let's have a look. That doesn't sound right to me. No, sorry. Let's go back a bit. I jumped ahead a bit too fast then. I was supposed to look at Martin Odegaard's stats the season before, just looking at compared to Maddison. So let's just wind it back. So Martin Odegaard's performances in 22-23 in Arsenal season, where they were top of the league for a lot of the time and then fell off in the last few games. His stats that season was 15 goals, 7 assists, big chances created 14, games played 37. Again, playing majority of the season, not hardly injured at all. And they were pretty good stats. They were. Odegaard last couple of seasons has increased his performance, been more consistent. Again, I think there's more to come from him. I think he's like 25. Again, as I said, in the bigger games, you need to see him getting the match winners. He did do it a couple, but not enough to really kind of get to that next level and kind of rating top players. But yeah, he had a good season. Yeah, so let's go back to Bruno Fernandes. Yeah, so the season last year, 10 goals, 9 assists, big chances created 21, so a bit more than Odegaard and Maddison. He played a lot of games, 35, only missed 3. What I hear from Man United fans about Fernandes, they're very frustrated with him, and he upsets a lot of people with his attitude. Sometimes it goes missing, but them stats, they're not bad, they're really not bad. Season before, goals 8, assists 8, big chances created 32. I mean, that's kind of like double Maddison and Odegaard, so he's a creative player. And then you have to look at Man United's forwards, and they haven't been good enough to put away those chances that he's been creating. So maybe Fernandes does get a bit of a lot of bad press. Maybe he's better than his criticism. I don't know. I mean, before he went to Man United, he had crazy stats, crazy goals and assists. But yeah, really interesting when I look at that. And then he was playing for a really inconsistent Man United team. We were a bit more consistent than Man U were last season. So yeah, really interesting. So moving on from that. So if I'm looking at the attacking players from the season last year, I really find all this stuff interesting. So let me bring up this for you first. So I'm looking at let's read this so I'll make sure I get this right. Players in the Premier League who created the most chances. Yeah? So let me tell you who that player was who created the most chances. And I'll read through them all actually. Bruno Fernandes. Just trying to work out what this so it's included chances created in total as well as per 90 minutes in brackets. So he's got 114. Bruno Fernandes. Are we saying that he's the most creative player on the Premier League last season? I don't know, but he's got good stats. And the second player is Pascal Gross, 103. Um, yeah, very creative player. I like Gross. I mean, some of the games last season, he had cracking games, especially in the early part of Brighton's season. Good player. That he doesn't play for France, doesn't really get in the team. Third, Martin Odegaard, and he's on 102, whatever this is, 102 points or chances created. I don't quite understand the data there, but 102, he's third. Saka's fourth, 91. Then you have Andres Pereira, 84. He's in fifth place. Andres Pereira is an interesting player. Whenever I've seen him play, he does look a talent. Brazilian player, very creative. I mean, is that a player that Spurs should be looking at to sign and bring in? Don't know how much it would cost, but surely we could persuade him to come to Spurs as competition with for Maddison. And I think he can play out on the right as well, maybe the left, not sure. But I like Pereira. I think he's a good player. I think he'd do really well at Spurs. But there's no, I think I heard one link right at the beginning of the transfer window, but there's no noise about him. I'll come back to Pereira a bit later as well because he's in another list which I'm going to get to. Morgan's Gibbs White, number 6, 74, created quite a lot of chances for them in a struggling Nottingham Forest team. Number 7, Phil Foden. Maybe you would have thought he'd be higher up in the list, and he got kind of player of the season last year. Very creative player, had a cracking season for City. Number 8, Cole Palmer. Yeah, you look at his stats, which I'm going to come to in a minute. Yeah, he had a cracking season, and he's up there, number 8, 72. Then you've got Gustavo Hammer playing for Sheffield United, 70. You notice I haven't mentioned Maddison yet. He's not come in this list. Number 10, Alfie Doherty playing for Luton, 70. So they're the top 10 most creative players in the Premier League last year, if anyone knew that, or kind of maybe thought, well, or guessed it, or when they watched the season and looked at performances, they kind of said, in that kind of order. So a few surprising names in that list. Pascal Gross. Is that a sort of player Spurs could go for? Don't know how old he is. Don't know how much he would cost. But I think he's a multi-functional player playing for Brighton. He's played in all sorts of positions in the midfield, full-back, all positions across the midfield. Yeah, very, very good sort of player to come to have in your squad, in your team. Yeah, he would. I think he would challenge a lot of our midfield, and possibly start. Yeah, I'm not looking at him. Wonder how old he is, Pascal Gross. Let's just have a little look on him. Interesting player. Pascal Gross. Let's have a look at him. Gross. Stats for Brighton. Let's have a look at his age. Why can't I find it? Why is it so difficult? He's like 33. Blimey, I didn't realise he was that old, and he's not French, sorry, he's German. That was my mistake there. Yeah, he's 33 years old. He's been around for a while. So we're definitely not going to be signing him, especially looking at the younger players. Crazy. I didn't think he was that old. He must have been around playing for Brighton for years. I mean, let's have a look at what teams he's played for. Wow. Yeah. But yeah, a good player, Pascal Gross. That was funny. Yeah, I got that one wrong, but fair enough. But yeah, so let's have a look at the next attacking stats data that I wanted to bring up in this. Where are we now? So we have okay. So the final attacking data stats I want to look at is most goals and assists in the Premier League last season. Looking at the top players. Number 1, Cole Palmer, 33 GA. Ollie Watkins, 32 GA. Haaland, 32 GA. Salah, 28 GA. Foden, 27. Heung-min Son, 27. Saka, 25. Isaac, 23. Dominic Solanke, 22. Jar Bowen, 22. Gordon, 21. Mateta, 21. Havertz, 20. And then there's, just keep going to 19. Bailey, 19. Jackson, 19. Nunes, Darwin Nunes, 19. Julian Alvarez, 19. And Manu Kuna, Wolves, 19. Fernandez, 18. Odegaard, 18. Rodri, 17. I'll stop it there because I could be going on and on and on. Son's up there. He's in the top 6 goals and assists. He was very important for us last year, Son. He did get the goals, the assists, win us games, get us results. Even though I thought performances he wasn't at it all game. Struggled against a lot of the low block teams, playing up front, playing on the left. You know, I mean, he is even still now, and even he's getting on now. He's still such an important player for us, Son. And you know, and I've said in this video and previous videos about we need to upgrade our forward line. Son is, I mean, he's kind of carrying us, isn't he, in that forward line? If you look at the data, more not performances, but more the kind of the goals and the assists. He does a lot. I mean, compared to Maddison, I think he's assisted more than Maddison did last season, and only maybe one or two more. But it just shows that Son is, again, we're going to be relying on him a lot next season. And is he going to be able to keep that rate up for next year? Are they going to stick him on the left more? Was he going to go out front again? We don't know. I definitely think he's no good against low block teams. I definitely think he definitely struggles when he's up there in his own. He has to be on the left in them type of games. But so important for us. But really interesting reading, looking at the kind of attacking players, and then let's go back to Maddison, and this is what we need from Maddison. He needs to be getting these kind of level of goals and assists. He needs to have, you know, double figures, and he really got to push on next year. We got to see more consistency from Maddison. He's definitely got to be better and more consistent for us. He's got to be kind of reaching. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to be kind of reaching Foden levels. But if I look at that list, and I'm looking at attacking midfielders specifically in this list, we got Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's a lot younger than Maddison, and his first full season, he's absolutely smashed it. I mean, I know there was a few of them with penalties, but crazy. Can he reach Cole Palmer level? I'm not sure. I hope he does, but realistically, I don't think he's going to get that level of input into the season. But if we can kind of push for around between 20 and 25, I think that would be good for Maddison, and that would really help us next season. Who else in their attacking midfield? There's not many, you know. A lot of them are wingers, a lot of them are forwards. We look at Havertz, 20, double figures, playing false 9, I think, for Arsenal last season, after his failed spell in midfield. Not bad at all. There's not many midfielders. There's Fernandez, 18 goals and assists. So if I look at Maddison, GA for last year, 4 plus 9, 13. Yeah, he's got to be doing a lot better. He's got to be definitely reaching 20, but then can he stay fit? The player's snapping at his ankles. He gets injured. He will get injured again next season. And that's why it's important that we have another player to come in that attacking midfield role. If that's Kulusevski, I have my doubts. If that's Lucas Bergvall, who knows? Maybe he'll surprise us. Yeah. I do not think, and looking at some of the other priority positions I've already mentioned, with the forward line, the wing, central midfield, and the fullbacks, I don't think that's an area that Ange's going to go to. I think he's going to hope Maddison really picks up next season. Kulusevski gets more game time in that kind of area as well, and he improves. And then we may see Bergvall there, which will be interesting. Yeah, there's not that many attacking midfielders in there. Look, Rodri's amazing. Look, 17. GA, Rodri, madness. What a player he is. Bernardo Silva, 15, not bad. He plays a bit more deep and on the right though. So yeah, it's a really interesting bit of kind of analysis on Maddison and some of the other attacking players in the Premier League. What Maddison needs to do, what numbers he needs to get. He needs to be one of our main talisman in the team next season. He's really got to go for it. Maybe not getting an England squad would have affected him a bit. Pushing to put in better performances next year. Hopefully, if he does get injured, he's not out for too long. Maybe the system will change slightly. It helps him kind of get more into games. Players around him more persistently performing, like Basuma, Bentancur, whoever else saw. Maybe if they're more consistent, stronger, that we'll see a better James Maddison. Let's see. I'm really hoping that he's going to do better next year and really take hold of this team, be one of the main guys, especially if we're going to be going down Project Youth. We're going to need him to pull the younger guys in, really get them going as well. But yeah, so that's I'm going to end my stream now. It's went on a bit longer than I thought, 57 minutes. Just a little bit kind of summary on the stream, being my second one. I find it at the beginning when I do these streams, it's quite hard. I kind of a little bit all over the place, but the more the stream goes on, and there's certain subjects, you may be able to tell that I get a bit more passionate about, a bit more kind of gets me going a bit more, and I feel I kind of can talk a bit more naturally and be a bit more myself. So let's keep this going. I'll be looking to do another one when there's something good to talk about. Maybe there's a transfer that comes through. Maybe there's something that really from the tour, good performance, particular player played well. Maybe discuss, another player sold. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes up in the next week. If there is enough there for me to do another video, I will definitely get one out there next week. So if you've listened to the video, hope you enjoyed it. Please comment on anything what I've discussed. It'll be interesting to hear your thoughts. And take care, guys, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.